All right, what's up, good people? As I stated, I'm gonna do this breaking down of the precepts, and today is pretty much gonna be a easy one, and I'm gonna be dealing with the genealogy from Matthew 1 and one Chronicles 3 and 10. Those are the two that precept each other. Matthew 1 for the genealogy will send you to 1 Chronicles 3. And over there, we're going to be starting at 1 Chronicles 3 and 10. And Matthew is going to be Matthew 1 and 7, starting at David's son, Solomon. And as y'all can see, I got my little old specs on. Uh, well, before I go any further, first, for you people who be talking about King James and all that kind of stuff, this is a KJV, King James study Bible. And before I go any further, it also has a timeline in it. If you can see it, but there down here is pretty much a timeline, and I'm showing you the page right there. Where okay, the last book of the Old Testament is Malachi, which is from the ministries of Malachi is from 460 BC. And then here you go with Jesus being born in between 5 and 3 AD. Between 5 BC and 3 AD. They don't know which day it was. It was between one of those 8 years, right? But first things first, 455 between 455 and 460, 3 years later was the New Testament started. 455 years later. Now, take that into perspective. 455 years later. That means the Old Testament was done for 455 years. There was no gospel, no nothing for 455 years. Let that sink in. Okay. Now, when we start over here with the genealogy, right? We're gonna get to like I said over in Matthew, it's gonna you're gonna start with 1 and 7, and then in Chronicles you're gonna start at 3 and 10, where it's gonna start with Solomon and his sons. Yeah, Rehoboam. Abiah was the son of Rehoboam, and Abiah had Asa, and then Asa had Jehoshaphat. And as you follow through there, you're gonna get all the way up to Jehoshaphat, and then Jehoshaphat begot Jerome. And so, if you just follow the bloodline down, then it's gonna keep telling you all the way who had whose sons and all that kind of stuff. And then it's gonna get real crazy. So I mean, I'm not gonna tell y'all because, like I said, this is something that you can actually go and look for yourself. I'm just giving you the precepts to follow. And all right, so over at Genesis 1 and 11, it'll tell you uh, Josiah begot Jeconiah and his brethren about the time they were carried away into Babylon. And after they were brought out of Babylon, Jeconiah begot Salathiel, and Salathiel begot Zerubbabel. Now, this is where I want you to pay attention at, because uh, once you get over into 1 Chronicles 3 and you get into Zerubbabel, first of all, the names the names are definitely the names are spelled totally different. And they say, and the sons of Padiah were Zerubbabel. and Shimei, and the sons of Zerubbabel, Meshullam, Hananiah, and Shelemith, their sister. So Zerubbabel had two sons and a daughter. The sons were Meshullam and Hananiah. Now, when we get over here into back over into the New Testament, and we, like I said, once we get into Zerubbabel, they're gonna say, but Zerubbabel begot Abu, and Abu begot Eliakim, and Eliakim begot Azor. Now, like I said, this is where the two bloodlines just go left. Over in 1 Chronicles 3 and 10, that this is the bloodline of how David came to be. But over here, like, I mean, you'll continue to see the bloodline go, but it doesn't match anymore. It doesn't match anymore at all. And so here is the study Bible. They stopped giving you precepts, or they didn't give you a precept after you get back down to in Jacob we got Joseph, the husband of Mary. And so if you, like I said, if you go back over to 1 Chronicles, uh, it don't even go all the way to whatever they talking about. But I'm gonna read you this this mess out of this study Bible, and this is what it says about um, Matthew's genealogy. It says Matthew's genealogy agrees with the genealogies of 1 Chronicles, which uh, we looking at right now. It really don't match up. Sorry. Um, and say from the generations of Abraham to David, after David, Matthew's genealogy agrees with that 1 Chronicles, except for a few intentional gaps. But whatever. I mean, like that's a whole bunch of gaps, and then they go back to Jacob and Joseph. Everybody knows that Jacob did have Joseph way back with the 12 tribes of Israel. Something totally different. How they end up back with the same people, and so it says, except of a few intentional gaps, but depart significantly from Luke's, because there's a genealogy in Luke that they'll tell you is Joseph's genealogy, but everybody who want to say otherwise will tell you it's Mary's, which it plain and simple tells you is Joseph, which is two different ones. And then it say from this, some interpreters argue that one or both of the New Testament genealogies is inaccurate. Both of them, because they do not match the Old Testament genealogy. It does not match. And I mean, I can understand the spelling of the names or whatever, but Zerubbabel never had a son named Abu. And you can start right there, and you can look throughout the entire Old Testament and look for Zerubbabel's son Abu, and you won't find him. Like I said, Zerubbabel had two sons, Meshullam and Hananiah, and a daughter, Shelemith, which their sister. And so, and right here in the study Bible, it'll tell you. I mean, come on, who will put some bullshit like that even in the study Bible that either one or both of the genealogies is inaccurate? Think, people, think. And so, like I said, that's all I'm gonna give you on this one right here. Go and check out the genealogies. The precept for the genealogy from Matthew is 1 Chronicles 3, and it's a whole lot of them because the genealogies line up, so you can go and find the other genealogies, and trust me, the ones in the Old Testament match each other. They still would not match Luke or Matthew's genealogy. So, like I said, all this is, I mean, like it's a mess, and trust me, what I got coming is gonna show you something that, I mean, a lot of y'all don't even don't even know about. Look into Samson. Look into Samson. We've all heard the story about a woman having a child and what a child gonna do and all that kind of stuff. Look into Samson because them precepts from Isaiah 7 takes you somewhere else. Everything in the New Testament is added as far as like I said, this is when the whole Greco-Roman period when they come through, when they conquer and all that kind of stuff. And you, like I said, you can follow all this stuff yourself. I didn't make nothing up. I just read all of this. And it's word for word out of the Bible. I'm not using no other sources. Like I said, Matthew 1 uh, for the genealogy takes you back to 1 Chronicles 3 and 10. And for anybody who knows that the Bible says line upon line, precept upon precept. And if they don't match up, then that ain't what that is. And then again, look at the gap. Look at the gap of the years. Like who took the time to put these books together as a whole? And hey, so look at this. God stopped communicating with the people in 460 after Malachi, because in Malachi he tell you that he will send Elijah before his great coming. He don't say Jesus, he don't say nobody else. He says Elijah, and then after that he cuts everything off. And now, like I said, 400 and some years later, did Elijah come? Is Jesus Elijah? Or if you want to think John the Baptist was Elijah, that means Jesus was God. You do the math. But throughout the whole entire New Testament, he'll tell you there's no other Savior coming but him. He's gonna send Elijah and then he'll come. Not that I believe in it, and not that I believe that it's true or anything like that. I'm just breaking down this Bible, and like I said, it's entertainment to me. It's a very interesting subject. We were supposed to live our life based off of it, but I came up with some whole new, the whole out of Africa theory. No, we we was here. Everything that you're reading in this Bible is a it got some history to it now. Don't get me wrong, it got some history to it. Nothing divine though. The whole Jesus and all that kind of stuff. There's no divine to it. It's history to it. Definitely, I do believe that. And as far as like what they done to especially to us black people. And then also for everybody who's talking about Deuteronomy 28 and 68, once again, all of this stuff happened already in 460 years. Like, matter of fact, you talking about, like I said, 460 years ago, plus it's 2019 now. You put that together, it's like 2,400 years. Nothing. From God Himself or whatever. Nothing in 2,400 years. And so, like I said, once again, just go back and look at that start right there. You can start right there with those with that precepts of trying to put the bloodline together. And if you have a study Bible, you can read down there in your study Bible too, where even the scholars don't believe that the bloodline is accurate. But when I come back, I got something for you. You ain't gonna, I got something for you. I gotta put all this stuff together. The precept, there's a lot of precept stuff going on. And then too, I'm only gonna be dealing with Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, because they are the only ones who supposed to be eyewitness accounts for Jesus. Everything about Paul was Paul spreading everything on his own. And you can find that in Acts, where he supposedly told the Hebrews or the Jews that since they didn't want to abide by it, that he he would give it to everybody else. Not that Jesus told him to go or none of that kind of stuff. Paul did all this on his own, spreading it to the churches and all that, creating the churches or whatever. Paul probably the father of the Roman Catholic Church, to be exact. So for all of y'all who's following the whole Christianity or this religion thing, you're actually following Paul, not nothing else. And I mean, you're following Paul. Not that none of this is true, but you know you're not following what you feel like you are, just plain and simple. But until the next time,